Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody had a really nice Thanksgiving break last week and then hopefully had a few days off. I am joined by my youngest boss. This is Tatum. And yeah, I'm currently standing and he's hanging out with me, and we're going to make it work and it'll be fine. So, this is meant to be just kind of an intro to competition and an opportunity for y'all to ask any questions if you have them. For those of you who are on, any of you who are watching the recording later, please make sure that you have a way to contact me. My email address is jordan@mtfccla.org. So make sure that you have that written down somewhere and know how to get in touch with me. Otherwise, if you can get in touch with Tracey, she can put you in touch with me if for some reason you still don't have contact info for me. Perfect. So, just to kind of start off, I wanted to share a couple things about our ProStart competition. And again, this webinar is going to be specific for competition. So if you have questions or are hoping to do everything but competition, you don't need to necessarily watch it. We can schedule some time to get together and answer questions. But competition is going to be on Thursday, March 19th. It will be in Bozeman. It will be over spring break. And we will have it up at MSU. We are still figuring out some logistics for housing our management competition, but you can expect that at the very least, FCCLA culinary events will be in Gallatin College's kitchen, and we will likely be in Hannon Hall, potentially Herrick Hall, or maybe a really exciting big new venue. So stay tuned for that. We'll let you know. Um, Rules were officially approved at yesterday's board meeting. And so Tracey has uploaded that or is working on uploading that to the website. So y'all have access to that. There are a few changes in it, but I would say overall, and I'm going to touch on them, but overall, the rules and the name of the game is still the same. So for management, just I'm going to give you guys kind of a quick little intro to both the competitions. So for management, you would have your students compete, and I would say the majority of people have about 3 to 4 students, but you can have as few as 2 if you would like, if they work really well together. But this is an opportunity for students to develop a restaurant concept. And so your students are going to do everything from some of like the business planning and figuring out how are they going to make profit, designing the space, figuring out where the kitchen is going to be, where front of house and back of house, where office space is going to be for managers, where a break room is going to be. They will need to make sure that they are including all the necessities such as adequate space for restrooms and all the proper 3 compartment sinks if that's something that they're choosing to have in their restaurant. All of the necessary equipment in a blueprint format. Students will also come up with a restaurant concept. So they will need to come up with a name and kind of a theme and a vibe of the interior and figure out what they want to serve. And if there is going to be a general theme to the restaurant, who their target audience is, who their market is. And they will be provided with a ProStart population essentially. And so they'll be shared. They'll have shared with them, what's the demographics of that area. And then from there, it's up to the students to determine like what is the best way to reach these potential customers as well through marketing, and what kinds of specials might they want to run? How are they going to turn profit? Things like that. The other side of it that I think is really exciting with the management is that students are going to also be given the opportunity to not only prepare all of this stuff, but then they get in front of a panel of judges, and the judges are going to ask them specifics about different components to their plan. So they will have a set of judges that will specifically be asking them about the money side of it, judges that are focused only on marketing. There's also a really exciting round where students are going to be asked HR related questions. And so the students will be asked as future bosses, how might you handle a situation between two employees? Or maybe you have an employee that is consistently showing up late. Or maybe nothing is wrong with the employees, but maybe you have a complaint from a customer, and how would you handle that? So it's a really cool way for the students to do half of the work really prepared and come with it already done, but then get an opportunity to think on their feet. So if your students really thrive in an environment where they can interact with judges and think critically, it's a really exciting event in that way. And I think for some students who maybe are more interested in that hospitality and tourism side, maybe more restaurants, owning a restaurant, managing, serving, working through a hotel versus being in the back of the house. This doesn't always get as much excitement sometimes, but it's a really exciting competitive event, and it's been growing. So I wanted to start off with management because I think that that's also a really nice ease into the overall ProStart competitions. So if you have a couple students who feel like they would kill it running a restaurant, give them a chance to prove it and see what they come up with. It's pretty awesome. Um, in terms of new things with management, nothing too specific in terms of, what they're required to prepare. They will prepare a binder that will include, like I said, marketing materials, business plan, blueprints, menus, their projected numbers, and all of those sorts of things. But both management and culinary will have an entry fee per person. That has been different than what we've done in the past, but that is going to be something we're implementing. So each participant will be charged a fee. And Tracey, if you can just give me a nod, that is $7 per person. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that that was correct information. So $7 per student, and that's going to help us continue to run our competition in a really awesome way. So yeah, that is one of the main big changes. Other notable changes for competition would also include filling out a work log for service-based, work hours. I'm sorry, one second. Excuse me, sir. Can you please stop? um, and so students will be logging all hours that they are working in the hospitality industry. And so for some of our students, they may have jobs that are in that industry outside of school. For some students, that might look like them working concessions or doing catering events with you. All of those types of things count. This is going to be worth points. It's worked into our rule book. It is very important that our students are filling this out and submitting it. It's important for competition, but it's also really important for our funding and just to make sure that we are, logging and keeping track of all the awesome work that our students are doing with our program. So that is one of the more notable changes, I would say, as well. In terms of the culinary competition, and if you have participated or if you've been by, it feels like you're on a cooking show, honestly. It is high energy, it's exciting, it's also highly stressful for some of the students, I would say. But honestly, I think that sometimes the advisors get more stressed out because y'all aren't allowed to talk to your students. Once that timer starts and they are off on their own, and it is my personal favorite thing to watch the advisors pacing around, watching and keeping their hands behind their back and making sure that they're not not communicating. But what's so cool about that is that you prepare your team up until that point, and then they really are just rocking and rolling on their own. And it's a really exciting competition. Now, for culinary, you can have teams up to five. However, one person would be your manager. So you can only have a maximum of four people cooking. Okay. So if you choose to go the route where you have four cooking and you have a manager and you have a fifth member, that manager is not going to be allowed behind the tables, which I'll talk about in one moment. But their job is really going to be keeping the team on track in terms of time frame. They are allowed to taste things and give feedback. I have really seen an efficient use of managers when teams use them, of course, for timing, but also to keep the momentum going, maybe pump up the team if there was a little snafu that happened. They also are integral in making sure that not only are people staying on time, but they are working around each other and problem solving and yeah, really just kind of being the advisor in a mini form, I would say. For the competition, a really quick way to explain it would be students need to create three dishes. There is an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. And they have two burners, so butane burners, and that is the only heating element that they have access to. And they're doing all of this in 1 hour. Um, there are two tables that are set up that create like a little 10 by 10 square. It's an L, right? But you're kind of staying within your square while you're cooking and doing all of that within that 1 hour. It's really incredible. I've seen some creative ways where students are, you know, I've seen people make ice cream still within that time frame. I've seen people create a little smoke box, a lot of really cool elements. The menu should be cohesive. Students will also work on creating a recipe book, or sorry, have their recipes in um, a binder that they will turn in that will have their menu concept, their restaurant concept, costing elements, and also photos of their final dishes. And they need to produce a dish that looks just like the photo that they submit. Students are also asked during this time, as if they didn't have enough going on, students are also asked during this time to produce a um, sample of knife cuts so that we can see what types of skills they have. Students do get to choose which ones they do. So students might choose to demo maybe a fine, like a brunoise or a small dice. I would say those are some of the more popular ones for students. And judges will be walking around checking on their knife cuts, their overall teamwork. They will get scored on their safety and sanitation. They will get scored on also their products when they check in to make sure that they've packaged them properly and haven't come with anything pre-prepared because everything needs to be prepared that day. And yeah, I would say those are kind of some of the main points. At the end, students will be presenting their food to a panel of judges. We will have two judges for appetizers, two for entrees, and two for desserts. And then they will get to have a little bit of time face to face with those judges to get some feedback, which management also gets feedback time with their judges. So it's a really great opportunity for students to not just do their work and then, read about it later. They get an opportunity to visit with the judges pretty immediately, which is really valuable. We get an all-star team of judges who volunteer their time to come and are all industry professionals and rock stars in their own respective manners. So the students get really excited about that part too. So yeah, I feel like that was fast and furious through both of those. Maybe not so fast, but do any of you have any questions right now just about kind of the expectations for competition before I share about our FCCLA events and a couple more rural updates?
I have a question.
Go for it, Jesse.
Um, wait, is there like a template for the work log?
Yes. Yes, for the work log hours, yes.
Yes.
And I believe that that might already be on the website, but if not, I have a template. Tracy's on right now too.
Sweet. Thank you.
Jordan, is it all right if I share my screen for a minute?
Yes, of course.
Can
Please
maybe
do.
show that. Okay, let me go ahead and take more questions. Let me click around for a second
Yeah,
and
I
get
would
that up
perfect.
there.
Thank you.
I would say the same thing. Like we had a hard time last year finding the form to fill out. And I know everyone said it's on the website, but I don't know where that was.
Can you guys see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so if you, I'm going to minimize us here. If we're at, say, the FCCLA website, right, we want to look on ProStart and then competition information. And so then if you scroll down, your work-based hours log template is right here. And if you click that link and then make a copy of it, it's got all the instructions on it. And there's a spot. Once you have made a copy of it, you'll own it and you can edit as much as you like. So feel free to get those started now. And you can,
Hey,
if you know the students have worked some, it's okay to backdate that. Like look at their paycheck stubs and you can put that information in. That's not a big deal at all.
hey, so let's just back up for just a second. So that's FCCLA and you log in. Is it
You
the
don't have to log in.
Montana site?
mtfccla.org.
Okay, here
Mhm.
I go. mtfccla.org.
And then look on
Okay.
the right for Montana ProStart.
Okay.
And don't click it, but hover over it. And then
Okay.
you'll want to click on competition information.
Okay.
Now you want to go down just past the t-shirt flyer.
Okay.
Do you see the
Yep.
work-based hours log?
Work-based. Okay.
So we have that. The marketing competition videos, we have a Google folder. You can upload those to right there. The registration form is linked. It looks kind of like a title. I'm trying to make it big so nobody would miss it. So if you click on the registration form, it'll take you right to the Google Doc that you use to register with. And if you keep scrolling down, you can find the waivers that you'll need for competition. So you'll need one of those for each student. And on page 2 of that, you'll have a Google form for your dish orders. And those will be the dishes that students use when they plate their dishes at the competition. And then right next to the competition waivers, if you click on the rules, Jesse, I think you were asking about a different template, but when you said template, it made me think about all the information and examples. Like, okay, we have all the rules and that's fine and good, but I think one of the great things about the setup that we get from National ProStart is that if you keep looking and keep looking, look at these diagrams. There's your competition diagram, what you can kind of expect. Your scoring is there. And if we keep looking,
See, like on page number 45.
well, maybe. I just found, I think I'm on 22, like the example for how the recipe can be
Yeah.
formatted. Okay. That I think I'm kind of a visual person, so that sort of helped me a little bit. It gave you an example for costing on page 23, for example. So I'd say I know it's a big document, but if you have a little time to take a look at this, I think it's going to make a lot of sense once you see all of the resources that are available in the rules. So does that help with where to find things?
Yes.
Awesome.
I think
What
the
else?
thing that happened too, because last year I think I printed it and I didn't see the links, but I see them now.
Very good. And, if you get in the middle of it and you are just having trouble with links, it's okay to shoot Jordan or I an email. Um, I can find stuff on the website because I'm on it a lot, and I don't mind to share a link with you guys if that's helpful.
Okay. Also, while you're here, can I ask you another question? So for culinary arts, I know the rules just went out, but I didn't see where it said what the recipe was going to be.
Okay,
For
are you switching to FCCLA?
Well, only if we want to. I could ask you later.
No, that's completely fine.
Because I have some students who we did ProStart last year, and they were saying this year they might want to switch gears and then just try the individual competition.
And some of those competitions we found were some of the most popular that we had
Yeah.
last year. And there's been some changes from the national level that have sort of limited what we could offer. But I did want to talk for a minute about some of those culinary opportunities. So back to mtfccla.org, if you go to competitive events and then star events,
Okay.
and then scroll down a little bit, we've got some culinary arts recipes and some baking and pastry.
Okay.
And I thought I had the competitive events document on this page, but it didn't show up just yet. So I'll make sure I add that there. But I wanted to also show you the options that we have. Here it is. It's under competitive events. So the Montana FCCLA competitive events manual, like you said, just went up last night. And when you take a look at it, it's got all of the details about how competition for FCCLA will happen at the state level. I'd take a look here at the major changes page because some things have changed quite a bit. But if we're focusing on the culinary opportunities, read all of these pages later, but make sure you read them. They're important things. You'll want to look at page 12. We have available this year culinary food art, cupcake decorating skills, and salad plating skills as skill demonstration events. And if we keep looking, you'll see our culinary related events that are star events, our baking and pastry, and also culinary arts. So we have a lot of other competitions too. Those are the ones that are going to take place on Thursday. In the event that you might have a lot of students and you don't have enough competitions directly related to culinary to put them in, I'm going to recommend that you take a look at some of the other star events. Like there's food innovations, for instance, where they develop a recipe based on some parameters. Part of that touches on marketing too, as well. Sports nutrition, nutrition and wellness both relate to the nutritional value of food. I mean, there's some other food-ish options. Entrepreneurship, maybe develop a business plan for, your own restaurant or food-based business. So if you end up with students who maybe you can't fit into some of the other competitions, those are some ideas that might also be helpful.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree with some of those options. And even if you don't have maybe a huge class where you've got an overflow of students, maybe you have some students who are just wanting to dip their toes in and they want to compete, whether it's in some of the culinary, like hardcore culinary ones that are happening on Thursday, or if it's on the any of the other events that are happening, it's still an opportunity for them to get into that practice and that mindset of this is how I complete all the requirements of a project. This is what a scoring sheet looks like. And then they also have an opportunity, like anybody can come and watch our ProStart competitions. So whether that's management or culinary, students are encouraged to like come and watch. And so maybe that's how we get them in, where it's like, hey, well, you're already going to this building and you're doing an individual event, and maybe you get to see what a team event looks like with ProStart, and that feels more comfortable for them. So yeah, really, really wonderful that we have so many culinary related programs, both between ProStart and FCCLA. And I think it bodes well for the variety of sizes of schools that we have too, because some programs might not have enough to form a team, and some might have so many students that want to compete that they get to do it all. So, yeah, Tracey, thank you for going through that. That was perfect. You were way smoother at that than me trying to do it on the laptop. So thank you. And with my unexpected assistant here. So,
Yeah, no worries at all.
perfect. Um, One final thing in terms of changes for competition, and I'm speaking specifically for ProStart though, is I want to make sure that I am reminding everybody at multiple points about recognition towards the end. And so once competition is over, you will get all of your score sheets in a folder that will be available at the end of competition. But on that evening, when we do our award ceremony for ProStart specifically, we will not have every single program that competes come up to the stage, but everybody will still get their medals. And we will be basing that off of the gold, silver, and bronze scoring for points. And so the top two teams for each competition will be coming on stage and be recognized in that capacity, but all students will still get a medal and still get to see their score sheets and all of that good stuff. So yeah, that's one thing I wanted to make sure that we touched on now that we've talked about the during part of the competition. Um, Perfect. Okay. I'm just looking at my list real quick to make sure see what Tracey and I have gone over. So we have gone over some of the basics of competition, where all of the documents are online, some of the new FCCLA culinary related events, where to find those menus as well, your work log hours sheet. Excuse you, sir. And then one thing that I wanted to touch on, and this is maybe not going to be super pertinent for those of you who haven't competed in the past, but for those of you who competed last year specifically, sorry, we're going to switch. We did have some inconsistencies with our timers and a couple questions about that. And so I just wanted to address. Thank you guys for being patient. I'm so sorry. I just wanted to address that we will have timers at each station, and they will share out, just a quick little check-in of how much time is left. And so that will be helpful. And then Tracey and I are going to look to see if we can find some timers to have at the stations, because at the national level, there is a ginormous clock on the wall at each station. And we want to make sure that we're providing the best and most similar experience at the state level. Okay, I'm really sorry. We found our voice this week, and it's been really exciting. Yeah, so any questions about any of that at the moment? About like registering, about just any general questions about competition right now? I know we've thrown a lot at you.
I just have an idea, and I don't know if there's any other ones out there as well. But when you guys are like practicing for your competition and all of that jazz, how do you guys pay for groceries? Like, do you reach out and do a grant, or what do you do in that aspect?
Yeah, that's a great question. If anybody has things that they've done, you're welcome to share. But what I know that some have done is done a separate fundraiser for ProStart and treat it, whether it's with FCCLA or not, depends on your school. Most programs, FCCLA and ProStart, are the same advisor, and that's how you run, right, Jesse?
Yep.
So some do separate fundraising. I'm so sorry. Some the district will pay for it and will allow you to have a separate budget for your ProStart class. Or you can have students pay a fee to be in your culinary class, like a lab fee.
Okay, sweet. Cool. Thank you. Like, okay, wait, question. So like, can I use the beef grant for ProStart?
To practice,
Yes.
yeah, you just have to buy beef.
Okay, cool. Cool. Okay. Because I'm just reading this email from Gayla saying
Yeah.
100 beef grant. And I'm like,
You
oh,
want to hurry and sign up for it, yeah.
yep. So I'm like,
And
okay.
then you just get to buy beef as much as you can buy for $100. You just can't buy anything else.
Okay. That makes sense.
Awesome.
Cool. I don't, yeah.
Did we
Also,
lose, did
I
we lose
don't,
Jordan?
oh, we might have. Yeah. I don't see her.
Oh, goodness. All right.
Hey, that's
Also,
just,
the Serve Safe manager training at Gallatin High School. Do you guys know any information on that?
I
I
do
don't.
not.
But if you don't have your food handlers, managers, like you would want to get that.
It's a
They
good
they get
opportunity.
the Serve Safe from that.
Yeah. I know. I just was,
Oh.
it says, Gala. Okay. This training is being hosted. I couldn't tell if it was free. Does it say it's free?
I don't see any price on there, but there is a pre-registration. So there's probably more information. For more
'Cause,
information and to
yeah. Because to take it online is $130. I'm going to look it up right now.
also, does ProStart, do you have to use ServeSafe in order to be like ServeSafe, or can it be like a different type of e-food handler?
I think it specifies,
Most people do serve safe. Like,
Like I couldn't use e-foods.
maybe. Do you
Let
do it
me,
with Ruby? Is that on the Ruby program?
I don't know.
Let me double check with on that because that's actually a question that I have not seen before. And I'm so sorry, you guys, my dog tripped on my computer, it hit the floor and turned off. So as if we didn't have enough chaos happening.
It's all good.
But yes, I
Okay.
will find out about that because I think that the rule specifies just having the food handler, but we partner with ServeSafe for so much that that's just who I've the only yeah. I
And
will find that out.
the exams that you have to take in ProStart, are those the ServeSafe ones or are those different?
So we have a different ProStart specific exam.
Okay.
Yes.
I would
Yep.
say serve safe because when you go, you bring your serve safe certificates for your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, so you probably want to do serve safe.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can definitely let me know if you're having trouble, finding help with that. We've got quite a few people who are proctors and who can help set up that. So I'm happy to share out some of that information too, if that's not something that you've done before. So
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, I guess and the proctor is for those tests within ProStart, correct?
No, for ServeSafe.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because next question, if I go to this food manager course in Bozeman being hosted by Gallatin High School would
Uh-huh.
cover the serve safe portion.
I would need to know which one you're doing. If you want to send me an email, I can like check to make sure that it's going to have you meet all the correct credentials for that.
I will tell you, I literally just saw this like 10 minutes ago. I
Oh,
just
great.
so
Yeah, that's perfect.
just so I'm exposed before it gets too late, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm happy to meet with any of you like one-on-one too, over a Zoom call or a phone call or whatever is helpful. This is the last week of school for MSU, so after tomorrow I will be done teaching for a month. So I'm going to have a lot of time over these next few weeks, like with way more open availability. And then when the next semester starts, I am primarily teaching on Wednesdays, and then a couple like nighttime classes. So I'll be available most of the week as well. And it doesn't have to be before after school. If you've got a prep in the middle of the day or want to chat on your lunch, like I'm open to being flexible with that. So you guys let me know how I can help. So yeah. Okay. And all right. Tyler, it looks like Tracey was able to help answer questions in the chat. What other questions do you all have for me right now, or for Tracey as well, because she's on? Perfect. Okay, so one other thing that I think is really awesome that I wanted to share before our time ends, and maybe I'll get through a couple extra things today, but one is that we have a mentorship program through ProStart that we have been working on. Justin Brown from Cisco, if you have not met him or heard his name yet, he has really been such an incredible partner, industry partner for our ProStart program over the last couple of years. And he has been working on connecting a Cisco rep from the area, or who is in touch with local chefs or people who are willing to travel, since we, as a pretty rural state, sometimes don't always have access to a ton of industry partners in our area without traveling. So if you have heard from Justin already, if you've been on that list, fantastic. If you would like some help with mentorship, please let me know. You can pop something in the chat or shoot me an email, and Justin and I will work on connecting you with somebody. The nice thing about this is that you'll have kind of a point of contact who can do a variety of things for you, whether that's they themselves coming in and helping out your program. They could connect you to other people, or maybe you are wanting to do a lesson on something that's a little outside of your scope. Reach out and maybe they can get somebody to do a demo, or connect you with somebody. And we do have an interesting dynamic with mentors with ProStart, where if somebody is a true team mentor, meaning they are going to be helping develop your menu or develop your management plan, and they're actively working with your team consistently, they would not be allowed to be a judge at the state level for that competition, because that would obviously not be super fair. However, if you have any of these mentors come in and do a demo, or maybe they come in a couple of times, a handful of times, just in general to help with things, that is completely acceptable. So I just want to make sure that I'm not scaring anybody away from asking for help, because, there's a lot of flexibility. State competition is on March 19th. It's a Thursday. It's over MSU spring break. And so we take over their whole campus, and we will likely be in the kind of Hannon Hall area. Deadlines for the next 6 weeks. I don't think we have any that are right at the 6 week mark, but a little bit past that will be some of our registration dates. And you'll want to make sure that you're registering your students for competition. I will actually, I think that would be helpful. I will put out, Tracey had a wonderful idea when we met earlier to have a live document of frequently asked questions that's on the website. So on the FCCLA website, the ProStart page. And what I'll do is I will put a list of important dates on there. So that way it's just lined out really nicely for you. And I will work on that in this next week. So that way it's just ready to rock. Perfect. Great. Okay, cool. Any other questions at the moment? Okay. Tracey, anything that you want to add in our last little bit of time?
No, but I appreciate everybody taking some time to attend today. It was good to see you all. And
Yeah,
I'm glad to see so much excitement about ProStart this year.
definitely. Thank you. Perfect. Well, I will stop recording. And then if any of you have some more individualized questions, feel free to stay on for a few minutes. I'm happy to, since we're already on, take advantage of the time. Otherwise, I will chat with you when I chat with you all. Okay. All right. And Tracey, I actually think that you might have to hit stop recording now. I don't, oh, nope, I found it. Okay. Sorry. It just moved